are some of your greatest memories or something that especially was highlighted that you kind of draw on when you think back to the times when you were and that's pretty much it.
I was we're not really tied like we talked about to each other, performing with each other during that series, but my memories more so are with the director and the engineers that worked on the show while we were there. That's sort of our connection was mostly with them, and they did just a fabulous job putting all of our work together because we come in one at a time. But most of my memories are working one-on-one. That's the one-on-one work we do, is really with one other person, and that's the directors of the episode, and the engineers sometimes are involved in kind of coming up with things. And that's so my memories mostly are, looking through that window of the booth, right, and seeing the rest of the team on the other side putting the show together, which was fun.
My first time meeting Shannon, like actually face to face, was the two of us. You probably don't even remember. Was the two of us doing an interview for like a behind the scenes type thing. So I think you had just finished a session and I was just coming in, or vice versa. And they're like, okay, we're gonna get you guys to do, an on-camera interview. And I'm like, hi, I'm Brad. And she's like, hi, I'm Shannon. And we had already done, we were towards the end of the series at that point. We had already done all this, show together, but we hadn't actually met face to face. And the first time, instead of us having like a nice conversation over a coffee or something, we're being interviewed on camera, sitting right next to each other. And it was kind of wonderful because I came away from that thinking that went actually surprisingly well, and yet we hadn't actually met before. It was kind of wonderful.
But you hear each other's voices all the time in the booth, so it was kind of, it's like, I was putting your face to your name, your face to your name, your face to your voice, and I was like, oh, I feel like I know you, except Light. I'm glad Light is not you.
Of course, since then we have worked on some, North American cartoons where we've been in the same booth at the same time and worked actually with each other. But at that time, that was our first actual face-to-face meeting, which is a bit strange in hindsight.
By the way, Carl Willems was the director of this series, and he was fabulous. Absolutely amazing.
Hello.
Hi, my name is Lumi. I actually have a convention-related question for you guys because we're here at a convention, obviously, and there's so many incredible cosplayers out today and yesterday from Death Note and every other series that's here. What does it feel like to see your characters brought to life by a cosplay?
I get so pumped when I see a Ryuk, and I haven't seen one this weekend. It's a tough cosplay, and that's why I get so excited when I see one. I'm always like, when I see one in the crowd.
When I see a
Rem
Rem,
or
when
Ryuk,
I
they're
see a
such,
Rem,
yeah, they're tough cosplays, so they're really exciting to see. But great lights and L's and Misas. I see it every con, and it's always fun to see that group. But I'm waiting. I always love it when there's a Ryuk hovering along with them or a Rem with them. That's the best.
I like seeing all the Misas. I get inspired. I'm like, where'd you get that corset? Where'd you get that necklace? Where are those stockings from?
Lots of Misas this weekend. There's been a ton of these, which is great.
Amazing.
Love that.
I love group cosplays too, when you get like three friends who do the three roles and travel in a little pack. We've seen some fun handcuff use at various conventions. Yeah, it's a total delight to see the lengths that people go to embody these characters that you voiced. It's super fun.
Hello. Hi. My name is Kevin.
Kevin.
I was just wondering if any of you saw the Netflix Death Note movie, and if you did, what you thought.
Get out, Kevin.
Next question. You're dead to me. Your name's going in the book.
Where's the book? What's your last name, Kevin? We've seen your face.
We will never speak of this again.
I'm just waiting for the YouTuber essays to do a 2-hour-long video. Netflix Death Note wasn't that bad, actually.
I've run into a lot of people who were the ones that really, well, maybe it wasn't their favorite movie of the year, but enjoyed it. Never saw the series or read the manga. They just, what's this weird Death Note thing? And they watch it and they go, that was creepy and weird and kind of fun, but not super memorable, but they enjoyed it. but I've not run into anyone who's seen the entire anime that said, I love the movie, the Netflix movie as
You
well.
really got it.
They really figured it out. Yeah, no, most people have not been that impressed. I was super excited 6 months previous to it coming out when I heard Willem Dafoe was cast as Ryuk. I was like, yes! Again, they got the casting right. Even when Misa and Ellen Light were cast, all those actors are fabulous in many other projects that I've seen them in. I just feel like the directors and the producers on that show maybe never watched any of it, or weren't that connected. They may have, I don't know, but it felt pretty far away from what we worked on. And to each their own, no, it seems like it's almost a completely different thing unto itself with the same kind of story. Yeah.
There were some Japanese-made live-action movies that came out shortly after the anime series, and they were smart because they didn't try and condense the whole thing into one movie. There was a series of at least 3 movies, and if you can find those are actually pretty good. And we actually got to do the English voice tracks for all that too. So, and they did limited theatrical releases of them too. So I remember being in the movie theater with some of the cast and being terrified to see what it was going to look like, because again, we weren't independently for those, so I never got to see it. So I was in the movie theater with a bunch of Death Note fans, getting ready to see how is my voice coming out of an actual on-camera guy, actor's mouth going to look. And I know I'm biased, but I found myself almost 10 minutes in kind of forgetting that it wasn't supposed to be done in English. So I was so proud of the cast for dialing in their performances to work in a live action setting in a way that it wasn't like all the movies that I watched growing up, like horribly dubbed Jackie Chan kung fu movies and stuff. I thought the Death Note films were much better.
And look them up to see. It's fun to see Ryuk in a CG version, which they actually did a pretty good job on. He's kind of fun. It looked good. Yeah.
In the live-action Japanese movie, does Light take a potato chip and eat it?
You'll have to watch and see. Yeah, of course there's a scene.
Thank you.
It's not quite as spectacular as in the anime.
It looks like we got time for 2 more questions.
Okay, rapid fire
Okay,
answers.
so-
We'll try to do them all.
Okay, for Brad, Perry as a character is Light. You weren't defeated by Ellen in anime, but instead defeated by Nier. Some people are disappointed in that. Do you think it's better if you were defeated by Ellen instead of Nier?
Okay, well, to that point, I was a fan of a series called Game of Thrones. I don't know if anybody watched Game of Thrones. One of the things I loved about that, and hated, is you cannot get too attached to any of the characters. Because the minute you're like, well, that's my favorite character on the show, then they kill them off. So I kind of liked the way they handled Death Note in that, arguably the most popular character on the show, they're willing to dispatch very quickly because it just means the stakes are a lot higher. So as much as personally, do not like the idea that I got bested by Nier, not a fan of it, but for the trajectory of the series, it makes sense. And it just added a lot of oh, and now you're invested in the show because of how they kind of treated all that stuff. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah, let's see which Elkins defeated is pretty.
I've had a lot of time and therapy to kind of come to grips with the idea, so I'm okay now. I'm in a better place now.
Okay.
Thank you. Next question. Nico.
Hi, I'm Nico. And my question, because I know you guys have been talking about how you guys have all met each other and stuff like that, but I'm a little curious about your general socialization with in other projects where you had to see people face to face. Has it ever been a struggle for you guys acclimating to certain environments, or have you always had ease with that kind of stuff?
Well, I've known some of these guys since I was 14. And I'm only 20, so...
You did Death Note when you were 4?
So for me, I feel like every time I see our voice actor family, it's quite a small community in Vancouver, and in the beginning when you're trying out new characters, you can get a little self-conscious, or you know, sometimes when you go into a room and they play back your audition in your headphones and everyone around is wearing headphones and they get to hear your audition, that's a little vulnerable, I think. So I would get a little nervous then, and then you have to perform it for everyone. But at some point, you just have to not care anymore and just do you.
But we hang out together sometimes
do,
too, not
we
just
do.
at these. We'll have parties. I used to have big parties at my home in Vancouver and invite people over, and we'll catch up for dinners every once in a while. And yeah, and then of course outside of, it was nicer when we were doing more prelay, we call them, sessions together. We've been on lots of shows in the room together, unlike Death Note where we go one at a time. So yeah, it's different, but it's still delightful to be a part of their lives in that way.
I like a lot of voice actors, there's usually a start, probably comes from theater of some sort. I started in theater, then I kind of fell into on-camera acting, and then kind of discovered the voice stuff around the same time. I always hated the on-camera stuff. I love being on set, but my skin just wasn't thick enough for the whole process of the auditioning and jumping through hoops and trying to impress this person, that person, whatever. But one thing I found on the voice side of things, and I think I just was lucky with the group that we have where I live, is it never felt uncomfortable. Yes, there was times where I was a little nervous or a little, felt unprepared or maybe over-prepared, whatever, but I never felt pressure from the other actors, even if we were all sitting in the same room waiting to audition for the same role. So as much as I eventually phased out the on-camera stuff, I've always enjoyed every aspect of the voice side, mostly because of the people that I'm lucky enough to work with. And now that's introduced me to all of you. So that really does fuel my fire. When I keep getting rejected for auditions back home, and then I come here, it makes me want to go back home and keep submitting for auditions just so hopefully I can get another part that eventually I can talk to you guys about. So I do feel pretty fortunate.
Now we're going to go rapid fire. One word answers practically. Go. Oh, after you. Come along.
Hi. I have a question for Shannon. Which is Misa's favorite My Little Pony character, considering you voice acted Pinky?
Well, what kind of question is that? I feel like I'm gonna have to say Pinky. Obviously, Pinky's my favorite.
Thank you. Next question.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you all for being here. I specifically have a question for you, Alessandro.
It's me.
Yeah. I know you also did voices, both speaking and singing voices for the Barbie movies, a lot of them. And I was wondering, what is your favorite Barbie movie song that you have sang?
Ooh, it's a toss-up between To Be a Princess and I Need to Know.
Yes, I Need to Know.
Yeah, bangers.
Bangers indeed.
Both bangers.
Thank you.
Both bangers.
Thank you.
Thank you. 3 more. Here we go.
Hi guys, I actually have a question for Alessandro.
That's me.
So I know that when you voice Al, I know his character is just like an absolute sweet tooth. Was there a point in time where you felt like you had to ever get that part of his character into your real life, like voice acting, in order to really feel like you could connect with the character?
Yes, it is the only time in my career I've been a method actor. As soon as we discovered that, I would bring treats from the bakery around the corner to every session, and those were the crumbs that I was referring to earlier that I would leave for whoever unfortunate enough to record after me. Thank you.
That's the reason for Rats at Ocean Studios.
Thank you, and happy birthday, Brian.
Woo!
Hi, I have a question for Mr. Alessandro too.
That's me.
So voicing Elle as a character is usually portrayed as someone very emotionless, very closed off, and that's kind of what makes him so mysterious. But that's also brought up a lot of discussion about who he is as a character and his morality. He's not afraid to also sacrifice others for the sake of personal gain and his own ego. How do you, as someone who voice acted him, see him as a character?
Woo! One word answer. I think you should come back to my table. We can talk about it later. But I'll say this. Yes, there's more going on under the surface. As there is with all of us, with Elle, it's no different. Yes, he puts forward a facade of kind of calm indifference, but there's a lot more going on, as there is in all of us. Thanks. Last question.
Are any of you familiar with the death
musical.
Yes!
We're going to do a number right now to wrap this up. No, we're not.
Coming soon to a con one day.
One day, watch for us. We might.
What's your
Bunch of
favorite
singers
song
up here.
for the musical?
Oh gosh, I sing the whole thing to myself whenever I clean my house, but Where's the Justice?
Where is the Justice? Good pick.
Oh, wow, amazing. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much,
We are here
guys.
for a couple more hours. Shannon has to leave.
I gotta catch a flight.
If you didn't get a question answered, come to our table. We can answer it there, or autograph pictures, whatever you want. We're also over there, but also for questions, if you didn't get up or were too shy, you're welcome to come and just talk to us at the table, and we can chat with you over there.
Thanks, Milwaukee.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
man.